members today. We have Linda in Florida, Charlie in New York, Jean and Stacy in Florida. Welcome, everybody. And to all of you who will come in and watch with us, we hope that you will be able to type in the comments anything that you want to provide into the conversation today. We are reading the book, Miracles Happen. Anybody have your book that you can hold up? Mine's electronic. There we go. Miracles Happen by Brian Weiss. And I don't know about the rest of you. I've only made it through one chapter so far. As far as I got into it, and just, I don't know, I just had a little bit of difficulty getting going with this one. So I just want to open it up and see what our reactions to the book are. If you're into it, if you're struggling with it, or what's going on with this book and how's it hitting you so far?
I'm back and forth. I like stories, so I like reading the people's stories and experiences and stuff like that. So, but I'm only on the first chapter as well, so it's kind of a slow go for me. I don't dislike it. It's just a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was the same way at first. I'm like, what is this all about? And but it seems like after you get to chapter 2 or 3, it seems to be more about, how you're only in this body, and you've had many bodies before, but your soul keeps going, it seems I kind of getting to like it. Yeah.
Well, that's encouraging, Charlie. Thank you.
Yeah, because I'm only in chapter 1. But you know what? I'm kind of glad to hear that, because I'm not knowing how much of what I'm feeling is the illness. Or, like right now I'm kind of having trouble dealing with the issues in this life that I'm not so sure I'm capable of dealing with regressive lives. I find the stories fascinating, and especially when they do research, his style of writing is a little strange. I think Susan said that it probably was my illness, and it probably is, but he does, like, for some places he puts the explanation for things in the future, like he was talking about Rabbi Samuel. No, was it Sam? I think it was Samuel. And then he'd start talking about Rabbi Joshua or Josiah. And then I go back to read, well, where did Rabbi Josiah come from? And I can't find it. So then I keep reading, and then there's an explanation further in the book where he came from. It's just an odd form of writing for me. So that has been a hurdle. And but I keep asking myself, how is this going to make me spiritually grow? And I'm being honest, and I hope I'm not hurting anyone's feelings, but that's what these are the thoughts that have been going through my head. So I'll be quiet now.
No, you don't have to be quiet. I don't think you're hurting anybody's feelings at all. You certainly aren't hurting mine. But Linda, I'm sorry I interrupted you, but my thought is, I wonder if maybe there's some confusion in the writing style, because I think his wife co-wrote the book, or actively participated in the writing of the book, because she was with him doing all of these workshops and was actually one of the leaders of the workshops and helping when these people were having these experiences. That could explain some of that confusion, Jean.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, if there's 2 people, then there can be 2 different flavors of the writing.
Mm-hmm.
It was There was one that really struck me. It was in chapter 2. I'm not that far ahead of you anyway. And he was, I think it was in Florida, and he was doing sound checks and everything for his thing. And a woman, his wife was sitting in the back row or whatever, and a woman walked in with a baby or whatever, stroller or something. And she said to him, "Oh, he's responsible for my baby." So his wife wanted to know more about that. Oh yeah, could you tell? You know.
I think
So
so.
yeah, so she was going to different fraternity clinics or whatever to try and get pregnant, and she never could. And she was going to like one last one, and she's sitting in the waiting room with all these pregnant women, and she gets up and she yells out, "This is your last chance, damn it!" You know, to like the spirit, you know, all the people that passed on or whatever. And she got pregnant for, you know, right after that. So it was like, you know, he was responsible for the baby or whatever. So it was, yeah. So that was like one of the stories in there. Yeah, it was called The Last Chance. Yeah. But right after that, it said, "I may have been partially responsible for this baby, but I myself have grown many children. I have been male and female over many incarnations. I have been all races, all religion, and all nationalities. So have we all, because we are not our bodies. We are merely our temporary homes. We are the souls moving from life to life, learning how to realize our true spiritual nature here on earth." So, you know, it gets, you know, and then there's more about that going on, but that part was, you know, it's like what we say, we're walking each other home, you know. So
I would think if everybody felt like that, there might be a lot less discrimination in the world if you realize if you're picking on a certain race or color, if you realize you were that race or color, it's like picking on yourself. So
right, or you might come back as that race just to show you what that race is like, you know.
little karma.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah.
Well, don't you look pretty?
Oh,
Thank
so
you.
beautiful.
Up for the book club today. I love it. I love it. And Suzanne's watching and listening to us while she's driving. And Lisa Berry just came in and said hello. So hello.
Hi.
I was really hoping Susan would be here because I want to know how to pronounce that word.
Oh,
Shaft.
yeah, that word.
Page 41.
Yes, at the end of chapter 1.
Yeah, it's not, and he talks about the community group, about a community of people who are connected and
Gemini Shaft.
yeah, Gemini Chef. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it correctly.
It has an N in there. Jermaine Chef?
So every now and
Mine
then,
shop.
Gemini Shift.
how do you say
No.
it?
I made it up. I said Jermaine chap. I don't know if that's right.
I don't think so, but because it's German, but
Right.
and I know it's guttural. It's got to be down in your throat a little bit. But anyhow, he says things every now and then are so fascinating about the power of community and the connection. And I feel that with us. You know, I feel that we have a certain connection in a community that's powerful. And like I said, it might be the illness, but like we're taking such care of each other, you know?
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. I just feel it's so strong. And anyway, I've been trying to do a lot of introspection and learning. And so every now and then he comes out with a gem that just rings with me, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm not unhappy that I'm reading it, but I just don't think the transgressions are something that I could deal with right now. No, but it's fascinating that the other people have had all these things. I'm, like I said, I've got my present life past transgressions that I'm dealing with. I can't think of dealing with things in another life that I might have hung over. So, but no, that was a beautiful gem. So I like that. I like that.
The sentence, once we look into the eyes of another and see ourselves looking back, we will be able to create a heaven on this earth.
Yeah, so it's
That's what I underlined. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
yeah. The book has its moments, without a doubt.
Does it seem far-fetched to anybody or just not?
No, I kind of.
I get mine today. I was sure I had it, but I didn't. So I ordered it and it should come today. So I don't have.
Wow, Linda, far-fetched as far as these experiences? Is that what
Yeah,
you're
the
asking?
experiences or the people's experiences, or I would say no, because they're experiences, but
Mhm.
Yeah, well, from my perspective, I've led quite a few people through their past life experiences, and there's some that were really phenomenal. And it's like, okay, let me just feel into this. And every time I've been able to go where they are and to see that experience. So I really believe we live in a world of infinite possibilities. My problem that I had to overcome to read his book is always the reference to past lives, because nothing is past. There is no time, so it can't really be past. It's an alternate life, from what I understand, and that everything is happening at the same quote time. It's all ongoing. There's nothing that's dead and buried. It's all still alive energy. So that's how we're able to tap into these experiences that we go to. I was reading some criticism of his book because I'm on Goodreads. Are any of you on Goodreads?
Yeah, I am. Yep. I'll have to friend you.
Yeah. And I was reading some of the criticism, and there was one that really ranted about, that she was so skeptical about it, and that, it was just somebody making stuff up, or that it wasn't scientific at all. And I'm like, well, be skeptical, but also be open-minded. That's what the Toltecs teach. We don't just accept everything at face value until we really ask, how does that feel inside? And to me, these regressions and these experiences are legit. When I feel into the energy of it, it's real. I've done several of my own and seen my own past lives. So I know from my own perspective, I've seen myself, and I felt, this is the thing, and this is why I do the regressions, is because it helps in the current lifetime. It helps the healing process. It helps sometimes understand what you've gone through in another experience that might still be interfering with this lifetime. Like people that have phobias and they can't explain why they have that phobia, or people that feel stuck and are unable to progress and move forward. So I think that it's legit. I think he's really giving us a true account of all of these experiences that people had. Because I don't know, I don't remember the very beginning if he said these came in these people's own words. Do you all have an understanding if that's the case? These stories?
Oh, I'm not sure about that. I see what you mean. or if he like wrote about what they told him, or yeah, I'm not sure.
Most of them, the people wrote the story themselves, and then he kind of enlightened us to how it helped them or how it worked for them. And I think that that's important because I think for some people they need that. But for some people, that sounds cocky. We don't need that. You know, we're dealing with a different kind of spiritual growth. We don't have a phobia that we're trying to get rid of, an unusual phobia. At least I haven't discovered one yet. But other than unkindness, I really have a phobia about unkindness. But and I got a cough drop in my mouth, so I know I sound really weird. But I don't know. I can see where people would be skeptical, you know, because they haven't experienced. And I've had little experience with you, Terry. So I do know that there is, like you say, keep an open mind because these things are vast. And it's like the universe is a smorgasbord of help. And we find it where we need it.
I know I had some resistance a while ago. Now I'm way more open about stuff, but I can tell you that it stemmed from religious upbringing where it was drilled that you get one shot. There's no other life to speak of other than this current one, and that was it, you know. So it took me a few years to even open up to that, but I am going next Thursday for a past life regression session.
Are you?
For the first time. I've never done it. I have no idea what to expect at all. So it'll be interesting. I'm just going there for the experience, you know.
That's exciting.
We're waiting to hear.
I figured, why not now? I mean, we're doing this book, and the same person who does my reflexology does the past life too. And she had said something about it, that she had a past life regression session that was coming up later that afternoon after she worked with me. And I'm like, oh, really? We just are starting a book by, you know, this Brian Weiss. And she's like, oh yeah. You know, she knew the Many Lives, Many Masters book. So it'll be interesting. I'm kind of giddy about it, you know. It'll be a fun new experience.
Good.
I have a question. Jean said that all of us in this group have a really strong bond, and it's more than friendship, it's family. And, you know, when I meet you, I feel like I've already known you before, like when I met Terry. So I'm assuming we were in past lives together. So the question is, Terry, where you've done it more, or anybody, do you ever meet any of us and realize, oh, that's Linda, I knew her before, or you see Christine in a different situation, or and after you've done the past life, when you meet somebody new, say when you meet Stacy, you might have recognized her from actually remembering where you had known her before. Am I saying that clearly?
You are saying it clearly. Thank you for the question. And yes, the answer is yes. There's been many sessions that I've done where, you know, familiar people from this current 3D experience show up in another life experience. And I fully believe that we call our soul group to us when we go into one of these incarnations. We call everybody that we have a contract with to interact with in some way, whatever way that might be. It might be a really great experience together. It might be that they are our sandpaper and they're going to help us learn one of those important things that we need to know to smooth down some edges and work through some things that we need to work through. So yeah, that's my philosophy. And yes, I have had that experience personally to see
Oh,
contact with others. And one of the things that I guide people to when we do a past life experience is who's with you. So as you're having the experience, you're looking around where you're at, and it's like, who's there? So you look and you see who is there with you in that experience in that particular lifetime. It's very interesting. I love doing regressions.
Oh, this will be so, I'm just excited about it. The more I hear about it, the more I'm like, oh,
I'm excited for you. I had the thought, in fact, just today, I had the thought of what if we do a group regression? I could lead it and just see who all shows up for you and see what kind of experience. And maybe there's some similar experiences that people would have.
that would be interesting.
would be.
I know I mentioned it to you that I was very curious and about it. Just reading the book and everything, and it's something I always would, and they're saying you had thousands of lifetimes before, it's like, wow.
Who knows how many, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, wow, and I know I've astro traveled or whatever, and I've seen, some of the lifetimes I've had and stuff like that. But it's, just to know more about them and everything would be.
My husband is the one. We both, when we first met each other, it was like we just felt like we had known each other. And it's still to this day, look at, he's coming behind me now. To this day, it's still just one of those relationships that I'm like, man, it was beyond just this life, I guess, is the way I would put it.
Yeah, the same with me and my husband too.
Yeah, I
That's
think agreement, right? There's an agreement that you're going to experience different things, and you may come in one lifetime as the husband, the next time you might be the wife. You mix it up so you can get those different perspectives, and it's all for the soul growth. And where's our Mary Lou?
Yeah.
No, I'm wondering if she managed to get her shot appointment.
Oh,
She's been trying so hard to get one. So I'm wondering if maybe she may be afraid to even turn off her computer because they have people in line to sign up for it. And I know she's been really trying hard for 2 days now to get somewhere with it.
I was trying and couldn't get nowhere, and my daughter-in-law got it for me. I'm like, okay, I go Saturday.
Right. Oh, good.
Yeah.
And they just opened it up for me. I got some good news on the 8th. So as soon as I get off of here, I'm making sure that I'm on every single list I can come up with.
Yeah.
But hey, I have to say, I really enjoyed, I didn't get very far in the book. I have to admit, I'm not very far in it, but I really enjoyed the part about the mountain meditation and going within. I've done a lot of mountain meditations because I really do enjoy the mountain. I enjoy mountains anyways, so I'm drawn to them. But I really enjoyed this version of it, and that one is on page 14. But I definitely have it all kinds of underlined and starred, and it's just picturing yourself, or picturing the beautiful mountain, and that within the mountain, everything stays the same. The temperature, it's just pleasant inside the mountain, and no matter what is going on outside of the mountain. So the outside of the mountain, you picture all of the seasons coming and going, and the different temperatures and the different extreme weather and all whatnot. But inside the mountain, it's always maintaining that perfect temperature, and no matter what storms are raging on the outside, the inside is stable and calm and
Yeah.
just to, and then you're supposed to be, but that's what the peace that we get from within us looks like, is like that mountain. And that no matter what is happening on the outside, no matter what storms are happening, it's within, and you, all of us have that spot within to go, and it's always going to be stable and no storms, and just I really like that imagery that he put in there, and he said he got it from one of his mentors. So
Right. Still tranquil and calm. Right. Right.
Yeah, that resonated with me. I've been doing journaling, believe this or not, Terry. I've been doing journaling since I've been sick. And I had written in my journal that people are, my people are finding it amazing that I can be happy and sick, really sick. But it's like the mountain, it resonated with me because it's like you can't, you put the sickness like away from you.
Hey guys,
mention names.
hold on, unmute.
Yeah, Mary Lou too.
And Mary Lou too. Hi,
We
darling.
brought them both in.
Right on.
I can hear you. Yay. Hi guys.
Yay.
Thank you for waving at me. I've seen that. What did I miss? Recap. I know you had a German question. Bring it on.
Pronunciation of
Which
that.
page?
41.
Okay, let's see. Hold on, I find it.
And it's
The
also
very
Hope was the one that alerted me that Mary Lou was having problems getting in.
Oh,
And
hi.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I see it. It's called Gemeinschaft. Gemeinschaft, which is your community. You guys had it pretty good. You were close there.
Who close?
Yeah.
I knew it was mine. That's as far as I could take.
Right?
Gemeinschaft.
German is sometimes difficult. It's very
Yes.
harsh.
But his concept is that we are well, the Gemeinschaft is a community that crosses all lives, all things. It's a group that's been drawn together, Linda, what you were asking, spiritually from all, from all our multiple existences to be a support group to each other. And that's, to me, that seems like a beautiful explanation for what I feel when I think of you all.
Thank you.
Did you guys read all? I'm not sure. It's somewhere in the introduction. It has been a while for me, so I have to go back there for the page. But I said that a while ago in one of the meetings where he writes that it's no coincidence that we're all brought together. That's where I got that from this book. It is so amazing, or that a lot get together and maybe just one person gets something out of it, but it was meant for that one person that day. So I keep thinking, when you have the kappa or something, somebody is edified, for example, it's a whole community and one person is uplifted.
I do know the part you're talking about. The part that he said there was like 200 people in one of his seminars or something.
Yes.
And that you don't always know, all 200 people, how that affected, but even one person comes out of that seminar being helped, then you know that was the reason why everyone was there at that time. I love that too.
Yes, that reminded me of us, totally.
Whatever he said.
Yeah. I have to say, my thing with the book, I'm totally amazed. I'm totally open for this. I'm a little skeptical with past life regressions, never did one. I'm always afraid I can't be regressed because my brain is like, go, go, go all the time. But reading just those beautiful stories from those people and the healing effect, like for me, it's a lot. Why am I stuck in my life? So I'm eager to have a past life regression and see what's back there going on that can help me now. And so those examples, just like maybe Stacy, fear of flying, I totally thought about you. That regression, the lady was a fighter pilot in Second World War and crashed. you
Mhm.
know, and once she found that out, and she was able to fly, no problem. So there is so much if you have, I mean, I'm like, yay, I want to read those stories, and then I want a regression. So I'm pumped.
There is a show. I don't know if anybody has ever seen it. I think I brought it up before, where children are remembering their past lives and actually taking their parents exactly to where they lived and everything else. They knew their names, their friends. One of them, example, was killed in 9/11, and he took his family to the guy's apartment where he lived and everything. And he told him about the day that he had passed and what happened, and met his friends. It was wild.
I think
Yeah,
it's cool. Or
it
don't you
is.
think, like, you know, what you're drawn to? Like Terry, you know, you might have been in your past life giving love, being a healer, whatever, you know, what we are trying to do as light workers.
Yeah, many
Yeah.
times. I've seen a lot of my other lives. I just have a problem calling them past lives, just because I know there is no such thing as time. But Stacy, I love that you brought that up, because that was some of the research I had done years ago about, you know, these kids. That there was one that described the Titanic and actually was drawing pictures of the Titanic. And his mom says they had never seen it, the movie, they had never discussed anything about that. And all of a sudden, this kid, this young, like 5, 6 years old kid, was drawing pictures from inside the Titanic, was telling her about how he drowned with this boat, and everything that he did, everything that he was sharing was from the experience of the Titanic, of what actually happened.
Yeah.
So there's so many stories like that. And I don't know the name of that show either. I can't remember, but I was reading this. There's some really good written accounts of
Mhm.
the kids that remember their death, that remember how they died, where they were, where they lived, their names, everything. Is phenomenal.
And once they
Terry,
go back, they forget, their fears lessen, their anxiety starts to go away and
Yeah.
everything, because they released that past life or soul journey, right? That they're on.
That's
So,
what I'm going to start calling them, thanks to Stacy. I no longer call it a past life regression. It's a soul journey
whole
experience.
journey. I like that. Yeah. Terry, do you know what they were referencing? Or what was a light crystal? A teacher came and put a light crystal in her heart, she said. At one of and I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
It was for the story with the woman who had her friend Joe
Mhm.
make contact with her. And she was experiencing physical pain. And then he came to her and gave her a big hug, and she really experienced physical pain at that point until um, she accepted and surrendered his message to her, which was a forgiveness. He had taken his own life, and she blamed herself for not having gone visiting him after he'd asked her to, and they had been very, very tight as far as friendships. And then they had broken up and gone their separate ways, and then he wound up committing suicide later. But she said at first she felt really physical discomfort when he tried to hug her, until she surrendered and accepted his message to her that that wasn't hers to take, and that she was worthy to go on with her life without that pain. But it says that the teacher came and put a light crystal in her heart, and I just don't know what that is. There was not really any other explanation for what that meant.
Sure, there's a lot of people that work with crystals and crystal energy. So it's probably something they have developed in their modality to do that. I'm not familiar with the light crystal.
maybe
Yes.
it's like a Reiki, when you get the symbols, they don't really put them in, but they
Yeah,
do
right.
attunement type thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Hang in there. He might explain it in 5 or 6 more chapters.
Right. Could be. I know I'm not very far.
Explain things later. So
I'm definitely not very fun. And then that was amazing. At that same seminar, she never said the gentleman's name or what had happened. And then someone else at that seminar found her, didn't know who she was at first. She had gone through her own regression, and at the very last minute, they're like, no, we're not done yet. And somebody had come to her and said, my name is Joe. You need to get in touch with Jeanette. And she's like, I don't know a Jeanette. I don't know anybody here, and it took them more than a day to find each other. But then she's like, oh, you're Jeanette. I got a message from Joe for you. And she thought the whole thing was like, she's like, Joe, what a generic name.
Right.
She
Yeah.
totally believe it. She's like, that's like saying John Doe.
Right.
Jodo.
Glad I came in. You guys have made it so much more interesting for me because, I was really a little bit puzzled by the book. So you just opened it up for me.
It starts out that way. It does,
Mhm.
but
Starts out a little difficult with his introduction. I mean, you really have to stay focused on it. But then when you go into the stories, I think it gets way easier to read once you're in the stories when you're past the first 8th of the book or so. Sorry, I recommended it.
No, I agree with you on that. I agree with you because I was like, oh boy, and it's still going to take me a long time to get through this book. I can tell you that right now. It's going to take me a minute.
Well,
but
we got 5 weeks this month, so.
Oh, okay, beautiful, perfect month for it. See, everything is in alignment.
Let's read it at night. When you're tired, you're like me, you fall asleep after 2 pages. It's the worst.
Well, I had Alexa read it to me last night. So my eyes were too tired. And I said, Alexa, read me the book.
To do that.
I feel a little step behind everybody. I have started the book and I was watching all of you before. You know what I was doing wrong? I had rewritten my codes for the Zoom for, our Angel Wings group and Soul Food. I was anxiously getting ready to start our Come As You Are group. So I thought I better not have them in separate pages. I'm going to have all the numbers on one, and I had the wrong number. That's why I couldn't get in. So thank you for sending that to me, Terry. But on the book, I was fascinated. And Tina, you said it's going to take you a while to get through it, and I think I'm the same way because I loved the mountain concept. I think it's very important to all of us, to be reminded of that seasons come and changes happen, but that we're that mountain, and we don't need. I was just talking to my husband about it earlier, how it impressed me, as a good reminder that no matter what's happening around us, we have that strength within us and that sense of continuity and maturity. And I don't know what else, that creates that confidence within ourselves, everything's going to be okay. We're a mountain and everything that happens around us, we don't need to control it or understand it all the time. But we do need to maintain that inner sense that everything else can change and do, and we just need to be there. Yeah. So that's as far as I got. I didn't get any further. I was so happy hearing that. And I just really wanted to let that process. I think I needed that.
Well, I think you're taking us to A Course in Miracles here, because that goes right there. It's like.
It does go along with a lot of the things in Course of Miracles. Yes.
For me personally, when I'm struggling with stuff and I had to really catch up. I'm on day 48 now. I don't even know where we're supposed to be, but I think I'm where I'm meant to be. There was like the one with forgiveness and stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's a good one. I do like 3-4 lessons and I'm like, yeah, that reminds me, stay in your lane. And so it's perfect. I don't know. So that goes along.
I love that you're being gentle with yourself. I kick myself sometimes because I do get behind in things that I've committed to doing. So I'm going to learn from you and say I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Yes, because you got to let go. I had to take a load off because I started being behind, and that was more with my health issues, with the vertigo and then the blood pressure, all, my brain not functioning clearly, and my kids. So I was like, either I can give up and be dwelling about how behind I am, or I can say maybe I'm where I'm supposed to be and do as much as I can. And that's what I'm doing now.
Exactly. Yep.
That's all thanks to you guys. Much growth since August for me. Thank you.
You showed up.
Yes.
Pat yourself on the high five yourself.
High five.
High five.
Yay. So Jean, take a load off. Enjoy the book.
You know that the jewels that he has in the book that he drops every now and then are so worth it. I mean, he just, it's going to be a difficult book for me to read. And I am enjoying the stories. I really am. But he just drops these jewels in there that to me just resonate with my heart that I need to hear right now. So I am very glad I'm reading it, and I am going to finish it. I'm gonna, and really talking to you all helps a lot. And I wanted to comment that Stacy is so calm and beautiful, isn't she? She just makes me feel so
You
good.
are Stacy.
Yes.
So calm and beautiful right now. So I just love to see your faces. I'm so glad I'm here.
We're glad you're here too.
Good. Love you.
You look almost like you've undergone a transformation, Stacy.
Yes.
I think I have. I definitely have.
Your face is bright and
sun,
you're just bright and beautiful. I mean, you've always been beautiful.
Oh,
but there's just an added brightness about you. I just love it. I love to see that.
I got to say that the surgery, I've said it in videos and stuff, it was a lot more painful than I expected it to be. But the weirdest thing is I would do it again to be where I'm at spiritually now. In meditation, I had a message that said sometimes, we can't heal the pain, but the pain heals us. So that's how I feel that way now. It's very strange. And I'm emotional off and on, because I'm not only healing physically, but I'm healing spiritually and emotionally. And it's wild, but thanks for noticing it.
Well, I think we have a tendency to drive down our emotions too. And I don't know if we're supposed to be that. Our emotions are energy. And so I think sometimes we're meant to not be constantly trying, I'm emotional. What does that mean? Of course you're emotional.
Yeah.
You're human.
You're supposed to be, I think.
I think it does. Quit being a crybaby, or things like that. Up and or don't let people see you cry.
Right. Yeah. That to me has become sillier and sillier the older I get, to hear people say that.
I tell my kids, cry. Go ahead, cry.
Yep. Get it over and done with, right?
Too, right? Like you're crying at a movie and somebody looks at you, I'm not crying. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with crying?
Right.
Yeah. Can I throw 2 nuggets in?
Sure.
Because I keep forgetting them, and I want to tell you guys this. There's 2 quotes I read. One was, I was listening to Abraham Hicks. Again, because I kept forgetting that, and then I'm doing my I ams in the morning again right now. So she says, when I slept, all momentum subsided. And I think that's so profound, because it literally tells you every day you have a fresh start. And each time I hear that, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. So that's the one. And the other one, I just drove by a church and it said, use soft words on hard conversations. I like that too. Use soft words on hard conversations. I
Oh,
thought that was cool
Yeah.
too. So just want to share that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
There's one quote in here. The beginning of chapter 3, if you read it, like the first page is really good, but it says our greatest lesson is love. So
Mhm. That was the answer.
That's all there is.
right,
There's a song like that.
right. Yeah.
Is that all there is? If that's all there is, my friend, then let's keep dancing. Let's bring out the booze and have a ball. Is that the one, Terry?
little song.
I mean, I didn't make that up about the booze.
I don't drink no more, but you can bring the booze out.
Is that what you were Is that what you were thinking, Terry? Is that the one?
I was thinking love is all there is. Is it the Beatles that
The
sing that?
Beatles.
Oh,
Yeah, the
love.
Beatles,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
Love,
yeah.
love is all there is.
Well, it's such a great phenomenon. There's lots of songs, I bet, about it, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Love makes the world go round.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't know the answer, just go to love.
Go to your heart.
That, yeah, she hasn't done me wrong yet. Other things have, but that hasn't.
It's funny because it's easy to say for us, I think, but there's probably a lot of people who struggle with that. We sit here and we've really, even I noticed a change. Like I can so easily to people, I love you, which I didn't really do before. I think a lot of other people struggle with that. We
Yes.
are accustomed to that. So, yeah.
Well, I hear all the time families that they're like, well, I didn't come from a family that said I love you or hugged or, yeah, Terry. That to me just kind of, it blows my mind because I am one of those people that I don't care who you are, basically. I've even accidentally said it to people that when I go to hang up the phone, it's like I love you. I've done it to people who have called for business reasons, and I'm like, oh, sorry.
Go to the doctor's office.
Yeah, right.
You
Thanks,
made
I
their
love you.
day. You made their day.
Sometimes they say it back too.
Sometimes they do. Yeah.
But when you say it, you have to let it sit there and feel it. So many people just say, "Oh, bye, I love you," But if you just sit there and, "Oh, I love you," and just take the 5 seconds to feel the love.
Oh, that's nice, Charlie.
Yeah.
I like that.
No,
I like that.
next time someone's, you say it to someone and they're ready to say goodbye, say, no, wait a minute. I'm going to say it again. And you just receive the love. You have to and feel the
it.
love. Right.
Yeah, I like that.
Believe me, it works.
Yeah, no, that's really feeling it. It's
Right.
making that heart connection that we always talk about. And
Right.
and yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Because so many people say, "Oh, bye, I love you." I said, no, you gotta wait. I'm not feeling it. Say it.
You make them say it again.
Say it again.
Exactly. All right. Now I'm gonna say it to you, and you just feel it for a minute, a couple of seconds, and believe me, you feel it.
Charlie, I love you.
Christina, I love you.
Oh, I think we all felt that.
Oh,
I was trying to remember, Christina, was it Brenda Burchard that said, did you feel the day? At the end of the day, did you feel the day?
Oh, right. Yeah.
That was so profound.
It
Who
is.
was that?
Yeah, very.
Like so many times we just go through it and we don't stop and really feel the day.
Right.
Feel what's happening. Yeah. Yep. I think we're all on autopilot so often just to get
Exactly.
by. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our bodies, I've noticed
You're-
that with pain,
You're-
when you get used to the tolerance of pain, that's just our bodies going into that autopilot because we're so amazing. We're just
Yeah.
amazing.
You're
And-
caught up in a rat race.
Yes. And to get through the next minute and the next second, your body does what it needs to do. And I think you're right. We do have a tendency to put that numbing around us when we're in that rat race, and instead of feeling and living. That's really what living is that feeling.
And we go in our default setting,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
started saying that to my friends before COVID. And it wasn't just, oh, I love you. It was, I said, I love you. And they would just stop and look at me and go, oh, I love you too. Like they just realized it. But they had
Yeah.
never thought about it.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't grow up hearing I love you ever, hardly ever.
I don't think I did.
No. And my husband's family says it all the time. So
No.
I make sure my kids hear it every day. All
Um,
day, every day.
It's
And-
important.
And the thing is also you should be giving hugs every day, because you don't know when you're not going to be here anymore. And you wish you would gave them hugs every day.
Yeah.
Or said, I love you.
Right, exactly.
I think I became aware of it when I was raising my daughters. And I always said to them, I love you. And, they go through those years where, they challenge. Oh, you say it all the time, how do I know, blah, blah, blah. And, and I thought about that. And then I started to say to them, I love you and I like you. Because that
Oh.
put it on another whole level, where you can love somebody, but you don't always like what they do or how they're doing it. And so I remember doing that. And I remember when they went to college, I wrote on a pillowcase, how they have that kind of marker that you can write on material. I wrote, I love you and I like you. Because I thought, oh, I don't want them making choices that I don't like. So I set the intention and put it in writing and sent it on a pillowcase to them, when they were in college. I love you and I like you.
And I just did the other month, because it has been a couple of months ago. I said to my daughter, I love you, but I don't like you very much right now because, we had an argument and we figured it out. But she said stuff to me I didn't appreciate as a mother. So I said, I love you, but I don't like you right now. And that was okay.
There's a lot
too.
of validity in it, right?
Yes.
Sometimes you don't like what,
Yeah.
happens. And it may be important to say that too, right, Suzanne? At certain moments in time, but
Yep.
but
She took it in stride.
basically with our children, we love them and we like them, right? Yeah.
Totally.
Well, let's
Not
take it,
everything that they do.
let's take it a step further. How about for ourselves?
And ourselves.
Yeah.
There are many times I don't like myself for what I'm thinking or doing, but I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, still love me. And I think that's a lot of the tapping scripts that put that in there too. Even though I've got this stuff going on, I still love and accept myself. But there are things that we can work on to improve in our lives. And that's the not liking me part.
Yeah.
We're a work in progress.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have progressed past the top of the hour.
We do that.
I have such a bad habit with time because time doesn't even exist. And I have to work with these restrictions of it. But we do need to wrap it up. Anybody want to share anything? to end with?
I just want to say thank you for supporting me through the whole thing. This is the first time I've been through something major and had so much support. And it made a huge difference. So I love all of you.
Oh,
I
thank
love
you.
all of you.
Love
We
you
love
back,
you.
Stacy.
Love you. Love you,
Good, you're
Stacy.
feeling better. You and Jean.
Love
both good.
you, and I like you.
Yes.
Same to
Same
you.
here. Love you all so
Love
much.
all of you. Are you kidding me? You guys are
Sometimes
all so
you say
awesome.
I love you so much, you begin to think people don't believe you because you're saying it so much. But you know what? It's okay. It's important for you to say it.
Mhm.
Do, and you want it to go out to them. So I love you all and thank you all so much.
Love you, Jean. Love you
Love
all.
you, Jean.
Love every one of you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for being here today. And I'm just so happy that we have this book club. And, you know, Stacy and I had this idea, and she's just as responsible for this as I am.
Only I
And
ditched you for a little while when I had to get a job. Darn it.
I know. I was not
Did
happy
you
about
like me then?
That stuff gets in the way.
it. Anyway, life happens. But I'm so glad that you all show up and that we have these beautiful discussions every week. And those of you that are watching, thank you for being here. We had Lisa, Isabel, Hope, Tammy, Andrea, Abdulfada, and Pat Moss. Thank you for being here with us today. And anybody else that listened but didn't say anything, thank you for watching with us. And we'll be back next week, same time, same channel. So come join us if you want to be on Zoom with us. The link's in the Soul Food Book Club on Facebook. Thank you all. And I love you. And I like you all too. Let's end with sharing how we feel about each other. Namaste.
Namaste.
Hey, y'all.
Bye.
Everybody.